Why, hello there. Welcome to the Nerd BS podcast. Funny you should join us as I have two friends here. We have this lovely gentleman over here named Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well. Was that a Obi-Wan opening that you
I
did
I
there?
didn't even think about that, but that worked. I was like, I was going for a vibe here.
I
But
thought we were going with like some sophisticated thing. I was gonna be like,
exactly,
oh,
this is
Chip
what we're
Chip
turning it, guys.
Furiosa.
Guys, calm down. We're trying to be sophisticated.
Okay,
Tomas.
General Kenobi.
Gotta be calm for tea time. How's it going, Tomas?
It's good. But yeah, I pictured like almost a Mr. Rogers-esque, like with the book by the fireplace when you started it up. I was like,
That's
oh
kind of
man.
my idea. Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I figure
Well,
every
hello,
time I kind of
neighbor.
do I kind of do like a big yell in your face when you walk in. But I figure this time, I'll just let you in and give you a soda pop. We'll
A
just
soda pop. This is getting weirder.
Welcome back to the 20s, the 1920s, everyone.
yeah.
Hope
I've been
you
watching
all-
watch a little TikTok. There's a Canadian gentleman who does this great ones where he acts like you're in his house and he like hands you a pop. It's amazing. I love them. They're very calming. But anyways, if you want to critique our weird entrance, where would they send these complaints, Kyle?
Can lodge your complaints at nerdbackstory@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at nerd_. You can find it. And Alan,
Twitter as well.
good luck trying to spell it though. It's very complicated. But it's Scott
But fortunately,
Matrix. Yeah, it's
yeah.
there.
But fortunately, they'll all be in the description. So
Oh, there you go.
just look down there. They're all
I was-
spelled out for you.
I always forget about that, and then
Yeah.
I go back and I see you have edited it, and I go, "Oh yeah."
It's much
Every
easier
time.
because I've tried when I've listened to podcasts. I've tried to like, what was that? What was that? And I try to write it down real fast. I don't know what they're talking about. And then you like pause it and go back, and it's so much easier if I just put in the description, so I can
Yeah.
just copy it and paste it.
Amen.
But anyways, we can move into our highlight topics this week. Well, first of all, I think we want to discuss what if. We had a segment on it last week, and I apologize. I don't want to apologize to everybody for last week's episode. It was not our fault entirely, but it was a whole scrambled mess. But I hope you listened to it and hopefully you got something good out of it, because I feel like these cats over here said a lot of cool things, and I didn't want to just throw it out just because my connection was all gargled. So I tried to chop it up as much as possible and make it listenable. But
we are trying, and we have a lot of limitations right now. With just connections, and we switched recording apps, and we don't want to get too much into the weeds about it. However, this is our 25th episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's you always hear other podcasts that talk about their milestones, and it is something, right? Like 25 episodes in, it might even be more because we did those in between MandoCast, but we're counting this as 25. And it feels good, right? Like I didn't know how long we were going to be doing this for, and it's really cool that I got to do this with you guys. And so we got some extra stuff this time.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I always get worried sometimes when things get a little busy for everybody. I'm like, is this it? But we keep pushing through, and we keep coming back and talking about more fun stuff. But anyways, we can move on to our what if topic for the weekly stories. We talked about this last week, and like I said, I got gargled. So hopefully this time it doesn't do that. But this time I've actually watched the show. Have you guys dabbled into it at all? Have any interest or actually watched it at all?
I have had interest, but a lot of this weekend was taken up seeing other things. My fiance just got me some really wonderful martial art epic movies, which I will talk about at some point once I finish. But yeah,
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm kind of just zoned in on that right now. And then I've got Assassin's Creed and work. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, I'll get to What If.
Yeah, I might be eating my words because I remember last time I said this is going to be a hit, which it probably will be a hit. Just not for me, at least not yet. I've tried to watch the first 2 episodes, and I guess just for lack of a better word, because I hate using this word, but it was boring to me, and so I made it about 5 minutes in. I was like, I'm watching something else, and I actually have started watching that Mighty Duck show on Disney Plus, and
Oh,
I like
really?
that. I like that better. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that because
Yeah,
I haven't dipped into it, but I've heard of
yeah,
it.
I
I've seen it
haven't-
on there.
I haven't looked at it.
Totally different vibe, obviously.
Yeah,
But
of course.
that's kind of where my headspace is right now.
Yeah, when they put the ducks on there, I remember actually getting my family together to watch the first Mighty Duck movie just because I haven't seen it in so long. It holds up. It holds up well. So I was meaning to move on to the second one, but we hadn't yet. But anyways, this is not Mighty Ducks time. Let's move over to What If. Maybe we can talk about that some other time when some other of us check it out. But What If? So I can understand exactly what Kyle's coming from. He did say he couldn't get hooked into it, and I completely understand the first 2 episodes, especially. It's the first two. We got Captain Carter, and then we have the T'Challa as Star Lord. And the main problem with those two, and I feel like they were good, they were entertaining, but I could totally see his point just because they really feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the first Avenger, just like those movies crammed into 30 minutes and then changed. Which the changes are interesting, but it's so fast. You're just running through the movie, and I get it, I understand. I'm thinking that's what your problem was, Kyle, because you said you couldn't get 15 minutes. Were you feeling that speed?
Yeah, the speed was one thing. And one of the things, I don't know if this was so much a deal breaker, but some of the voices weren't there. So some of the original cast were there, and then other voices weren't, and so it's kind of like all. Like either get everybody back or don't get anybody back, and it's cool to hear Chadwick. That was cool. But yeah, like Drax voice was different, and it just totally threw me off. And then I read something about it, and it's like,
well,
it was weird changes. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Tomas?
I was gonna say, can I ask why was Drax?
That's
voice
the problem.
Different?
We don't know. As far as I know, as far as I've heard, we don't know because there's a lot of weird people missing. Like first of all, like Scarlett Johansson's not there, and I understood that because I was like, oh, and Robert Downey Jr. They're not there, and neither is the guy who plays Captain America. No Cap neither, and I understood those because like, okay, those are big budget, but then you have people like there's a couple people that reprise their roles that are high budget as well.
With Josh Brolin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I guess that's I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah, but it's just like it is weird. Like and then like the guy who played Drax in there, he can't be that high of a budget.
Batista.
Batista right now, like he's a high budget, but he's no Robert Downey Jr. yet.
And also, I mean, no offense to Batista,
or ScarJo.
Like, no offense to Batista, because I have enjoyed almost every movie I've seen him in, at least recently. There's probably a few back in the day that he was in that I didn't like, but at least recently I've enjoyed movies that he's been in that I've watched. And it's just funny to me that you say that because, like, on TV or on YouTube, they have advertisements for Disney Plus, and one of the persons advertising for it
he has his own little show. Yeah, he has a show on there.
And maybe he was too busy, but I did read an article that he never got a call for it.
Yeah, there's been a couple. The guy who played Spider-Man too, because he was asked as well, and he's not in it as well. and they both were asked in separate interviews, and they were asked like, "Hey, why weren't you there?" And I know the guy who played Spider-Man, which I'm
Tom
killing
Holland.
myself because Tom Holland. I couldn't remember his name for some reason.
Toby.
But
It's Toby.
Toby Maguire, yeah, of course. They actually got him instead. That it makes no sense. But
that would have been a twist. That would have been like a WandaVision
actually would have
kind of
been
twist.
great. But anyways, just because it would thrown people for a loop.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Tom Holland also was interviewed and was asked about it, and both him and Bautista basically said, well, Bautista said I was never even asked or told about it, and then Tom Holland was like, yeah, I actually asked them about it, and no, I asked somebody about it, and they said my schedule wouldn't fit it, and I was like, wait. My schedule telling me my schedule would have been okay.
Yeah.
So apparently they knew his shooting schedule because they probably do. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
they
doing
probably
Spider-Man
do.
and everything.
Yeah.
So they probably like, man, why bother?
He's been pumping out movies.
Mhm.
It's
stuff
true.
that
Yeah.
we probably haven't even heard of because if you're smart, those of us in the biz, as we call it, when you get work, you don't turn down work. Right.
Yeah.
So it does sound like maybe a manager or something was like, no, we can't do it. How much does it cost? How much you paying? No.
Yeah.
We got,
It doesn't feel like a high budget show as well. So they may have been trying to phone it in
and like
a little
I said,
bit on that.
Like I said, that isn't so much the deal breaker for me. It was, like you said, it doesn't feel like a high budget show. And the animation is beautiful, but it just, I don't know if it's animated stuff, even though I loved Invincible. But that was just so different. I guess another, like you were kind of alluding to this earlier, like I've already seen Captain America. I've already seen Guardians.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see these characters in a different role in a different story.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to that leads perfectly into my next episode, the latest episode, which I actually just watched about an hour ago. And this episode, instead of the old switcheroo, the first episode, you got somebody changing into Captain, now you have somebody changing to Star-Lord. Well, in the third one, we get a new story that's completely separated. So it's actually I'll give it basically what the description says. If you look at it, is essentially someone is killing off the Avengers. And it's actually a very exciting murder mystery. And I would start off because the first person that gets whacked is right at the beginning of the episode, and it's Tony Stark, and it's really interesting as it happens, and it throws them for a loop, and then it's just like the whole episode is actually really exciting. And also you follow Black Widow for the majority of it with Nick Fury. And I really like Black Widow right now, so that made it even more interesting for me. But there's a couple iconic places that were in the movies that they show as well that caught me off guard. For instance, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm sure you'll pick them up. But there's some really cool ones that are from early in the MCU that you almost think that they've completely forgot about at this point. But it's there's a crazy callbacks. And I thought it was the best one in this one. I think mainly because of the story itself was way more original and more on its own, even though it did take bits from here and there, but it kind of leads into this whole thing with a whole other character that shows up that I'm not even going to say because it's interesting. My whole family was sitting there and we're like, oh crap, who's that? No. And then everybody was like, oh my God, it's and I won't even say because that way you guys can see yourself. But it's really interesting, and I think this is the best one in the series so far. And so I'm hoping you give it another shot just for this episode, and then maybe this one will pique you because I feel like this one was the most exciting. Like the other ones I enjoyed, but this one I really enjoyed and made me want the next one. So
yeah,
it's definitely a bonus.
I plan on trying all of them because I was really hyped for it, and so I'll see if I stick through this one, and then I'll check back in. I haven't been keeping up with it because the first two kind of I didn't really like, and so I have
the minute with
it's coming.
Loki. I was like, I'm watching
that at midnight sometimes.
Yeah, I understand. But unless you have something else to say about it, Tomas, I think we're going to move on to a little question that Kyle had. Kyle, this was your topic, so why don't you say the question?
So this is
or
our
topic.
25th episode question. Is this what we're doing?
Yeah, the topic that's under that's
We're
the
jumping
first
straight
topic.
to it. Okay.
What's the first one? Yeah.
Yeah, but we're skipping. There's two other. We're not
What
going
do
to
you
talk.
got? We're talking about your favorite movies.
Okay. So in lieu of the 25th episode, I thought it'd be fun to give our listeners a little bit more of the backstory about us, and maybe even get you to phone in, if you will, about some of our favorite movies that are, here's the catch, that are poorly rated. And I have a couple stinkers for sure. And I know you guys do too. And I'll start it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I have a few, and I kind of proposed the question. So
I have an idea. Why don't we do one each, and then we can
Oh, okay.
you can do it that way. We can go down the line and go to the top one again if you have more.
Okay, so I'll start with my recent one. I won't talk about it too long. This is a recent movie that came out. Is the Monster Hunter movie?
Did you see it? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it
I'm
yet.
curious.
Okay, I'll give you a quick story. I found a video store going out of business not too long ago, and they were selling Blu-rays for $1 each, and Monster Hunter happened to be one. So of course I spent like $70, guys, and they had video games. They had video games, they had movies, and so I came home with the trash bag because they just had trash bags to give out, and I came home with the trash bag, and my wife was like, "Oh, we're doing this? We're really?" And so I just started popping movies in as I was sorting them, like kind of half watching them, and Monster Hunter was one of them. And halfway through, I was like, I want to watch this, and I looked it up, and it's like, oh, nobody likes this. And at least none of the Monster Hunter fans. And I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter guy, but I thought it was a fun movie. So yeah, the only Monster Hunter movie I know about.
Yeah.
I thought it was worth a watch.
I liked it. What about you guys?
Well, I'll take the next jab here. So mine was, and a lot of people. Well, okay, let's just get this out of the way. It's Planet of the Apes by Tim Burton, the 2001, and
yeah.
Let the criticism reign, but there are some top level actors in that movie. Top level.
Yeah.
And
you got what's his face? Ben.
You had
Ben.
You had
Wahlberg.
the monkey.
Wahlberg. Marky Mark. Why did Ben Wahlberg? Why did
you had Marky Mark. You had
Marky Mark.
You had man, I can't remember his name though. The dude from the Green Mile.
You must have really loved it if it was that good.
Come on, I'm bad with actors' names as it is. But anyways,
I want to say Ving Rhames, but I know that's wrong. It's the other big black guy, right?
Yeah, it's the guy from Daredevil and Green Mile.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Why can't I think of his name either? I feel bad. I used to get him and Ving Rhames mixed up.
Yeah. But anyways, and I mean the director was Tim Burton. I feel like
Dude.
if you just gave him a bone and let him do a second one, it would have been great.
I'm sure he has plenty of
They-
bones.
They did set it up
for a
for a
sequel,
second.
I know.
They did. That was a really hyped movie
It
because that was
was.
like peak.
Michael Clark Duncan. Sorry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Don't
you.
want to rest in peace, but I don't want to disrespect him either.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really hyped movie too. Height of Burton, like fanfare.
Mark-
he's right.
Marky Mark was big at that point.
He was
too.
going up. He was only going up from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't
This was
even
kinda-
know.
Duh.
I didn't even know that was
Well,
a not like movie. I did not like because I remember enjoying it quite a bit. Like I haven't watched it now; it probably doesn't hold up at all. But I remember enjoying it when I was younger. I mean, that was my first
Honestly-
introduction to Planet of the Apes, and I thought it
It's-
was interesting.
Honestly,
It's poorly
here's the thing.
rated.
Here's the thing: is it still holds up now? But it's like Kyle said, and he's very accurate about this. There's just parts of it where Burton's trying to world build, I think, and
Yeah.
he starts to drag it out, and it's just kind of like, when it gets to the action, it's like, ooh, let's stay here. But then it goes to these weird like monkey dying scenes and stuff like that, and it's like, well, why are we here? What does this matter?
Yeah, it is quite the cast. Paul Giamatti's in it. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
here's the ratings.
Star-studded cast.
Here's the ratings for you, Alan. Metacritic's 50%, Rotten Tomatoes 44%, and then IMDb gave it a 5.7 out of 10. So it's like not even, it's barely scratching 50%.
Yeah,
But it made a lot of money apparently.
it did.
Yeah, I just don't even remember it either. That's when it's, for me it's bad. Like when I don't even remember what happened in it. Oh, I do remember the catch at the end though. That was memorable.
Yeah,
the very, very end. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean is like they should have just given him a chance to do a second one, because that very end was just like, wait, what?
You did. I did want a little bit more, but then quickly forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's a good choice though.
Yeah.
Alan, you up?
That was a very big quiet moment for us all. Yeah, since we're sitting here talking about Michael Clark Duncan, and this is one I always think of when I think of bad movies that for some reason I loved and actually watched it a ton. Daredevil. I don't know why this would hit me so well, but Daredevil from 2003, I remember watching over and over again, and I don't even know if it was the director's cut. I know I always hear that the director's cut's better, but I don't know if that was the one. Like I've heard the director's cut is like it didn't fix it, but it was supposed to make it better. But I think it just did the 90s edge like so well, even though it was in 2003. Like they adopted a lot of the things from The Crow and stuff like that made it like the double D's and the flames, a couple of superhero movies did that. Even Punisher did that. But I don't know. I always thought it was a good movie, and I thought Ben Affleck did a really good job. That's why I wasn't even worried when he was going to play Batman, because I was like, well, he's already played kind of Batman. He played Matt Murdock, which I mean, isn't really like Batman, but at the same time, the way he plays it in this movie is close enough. So I never really had an issue with it. So, but I've always thought it was a good film. Maybe not a good film, but it was an enjoyable film, a fun film.
So here's my, like, I always really liked it too, Alan. I won't deny you that, and it has really nothing to do with Affleck. The big thing that drove that, and it will catch you now if you watch it, is like him and Jennifer Garner have a fight sequence in a playground with kids, and where it just looks like she's trying to kick a blind guy's butt, and it's just like, whoa, like,
I don't remember that.
yeah, like, but there are parts of it which are great. But the other thing that I didn't actually like about that one is, and I can't remember his name again, even though I don't have a problem against
Michael.
No, the guy who does Bullseye.
Oh goodness,
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
There we go.
I thought Colin Farrell.
I have it pulled up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking right at it.
I thought Colin Farrell's Bullseye was a little, I don't know, a little more. Yeah. Thank you. Perfect way to put it.
I agree. You got me into. I think Alan made me kind of like it.
I know. I watched it a lot when we were growing up.
Yeah.
For some reason, that one and the Punisher movie. Both those movies I remember watching a lot.
I like the Punisher one too. I don't think either of them hold up. And this one,
I haven't watched them in ages, so very possible.
Unlike Planet of the Apes, it did kind of got a spin-off, which I still haven't seen, with Elektra, but that one's even worse. And wouldn't that be great if wouldn't that be great if all tied in together? Like, no, I haven't even sat down and watched it yet.
Elektra was Elektra, man. I don't know. That thing was bad. I mean, it wasn't Catwoman. It wasn't Halle Berry Catwoman bad, but it was pretty bad. It was. I didn't understand half of the story in Elektra.
I think I almost walked out of Catwoman. So
I
nothing's worse than
I-
Yeah,
that.
that was a bad one.
I rented
I
it.
couldn't get through that one. I didn't see it in theaters, luckily, so I didn't feel like I had to. But
I rented it with
we were
my
watching
cousin.
on TV.
Yeah, I rented it with my cousin, and we sat down to watch it at his house, and we put it in. We got like 15 minutes into it, and it was just kind of like, let's go do something else. This is bad.
Nice. Speaking of Catwoman, I have another pick for movies, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she's in this universe, but one of my favorite movies is Batman and Robin
Oh my god.
with the Arnold.
All right.
Here's that
Yeah, dang, that's a deep sigh. I felt that.
He's just upset that the last Nolan Batman film didn't take notes from that Bane.
Oh,
He
don't
just-
even.
Oh,
don't
exactly.
Even, don't.
They
Yeah,
did-
I understand. I understand.
No.
It's
Oh,
a
my
much
word.
better Bane. We all understand.
He was like a blow up doll. He was
Yeah,
like a
it's-
literal blow up. She filled him with liquid, and that made him strong.
Yeah, it was great.
He was the Bane we needed, not the
No,
Bane we deserved.
So, okay, this one is definitely fueled by nostalgia. All right, this was like, I was that perfect age. I was the target audience for this movie. We all were, I think, at the time.
Oh yeah.
Because
I remember enjoying it at the time. I
Yeah.
won't lie. I
I'm
enjoyed it
pretty
at the time.
sure even when you watched it, Tomas, the first time, you're like, okay, I don't like Bane, but the rest of it is okay. But then you keep watching it later, and you're like, I don't know what happened, what was going on. I might have been a little bit drunk when I was 11.
I will be honest. I will be honest. The only part that really had me gripped in that one was minutely with Freeze. Like
What
I
you
was
liked him?
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, Freeze, cool, yay. And then yeah, Bane was just a giant blow up doll, and
They didn't need Bane in
Yeah,
there. It
and-
was so much at that point.
Well,
honestly,
the only reason they put him in there was because at the same time, or right around that time when they were filming it, the Bane comic came out where Bane broke Batman's back.
Oh, okay.
So Bane was like
Huh.
really hot. He was
Yeah.
really
I never
hot
knew
right
that.
then.
okay,
And so they threw him in
that makes
as
sense.
So-
as a side character.
That makes sense because I didn't read that comic till after it had been out for a while, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I could still watch this movie. I think it's if you were in the mindset of like the Adam West Batman,
Yeah, that was the goal
that's-
too.
that
wasn't
was
it?
the goal. Yeah. It's
Yeah, I
definitely
guess.
way more campy.
I guess, but I don't like the Adam West ones. I'll be honest.
Oh,
don't.
I love them. I love
So,
the colors.
Yeah, I love him.
So that
It was because and oh my, I'm gonna spin off here in Titans on HBO.
yes.
One of my favorite scenes with Bruce Wayne, and I guess that might be a spoiler at this point, but with Bruce Wayne, when he's dancing on stage and with the girls and he's doing the Adam West
Yeah.
moves, I could not stop laughing. I was loving
See,
every minute of it.
I think that role was that it was like written for Adam West almost,
Uh-huh.
but almost to be like the older version of himself.
Yeah.
The
The guy
guy
that
plays him is pretty good. Which Tomas, you need
Yeah, I loved it. But
you need to watch Titans.
you really need to watch
Yeah.
Titans. You'll like Titans. Titans
will
is really
like-
good.
I think you'll like it. Yeah. No, before we move on, I think I like Batman Forever better, which is also poorly rated.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to piss you guys off.
Batman Forever was much better. I really enjoyed the Riddler. I really
It's on that
enjoyed
edge.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
right
well-
before it's like just about to go over the
Yeah,
edge into
yeah.
Schumacher land.
Yeah.
But like the nostalgia factors, because Alan, you and I were hanging out, and we would watch it together, and that's more
Oh
of, like,
yeah.
the fun I remember of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's driving up a wall. But on a side note, there's a Val Kilmer documentary done by himself, so it's like pretty genuine. Well, I know it sounds funny, but
it sounds bad, but it sounds like you're about to say it's good. So
it is very
Me
good.
too.
I know it's kind of trying to like comb this over because he actually got throat cancer, and so
I heard something about that.
and he can't talk anymore. And so the
Oh, I
didn't know
documentary,
that.
well, he has one of those voice things, you know, where
Mhm.
it doesn't sound like him anymore.
Yeah, it's like
But
a robot.
He wanted to do, you know, document his life in his own words, which is,
Mhm.
you know, understandable. And he talks about Batman Forever, and he's, you know, in it he says you don't turn down playing Batman. Like,
Yeah.
if you get asked to do it, you don't turn it down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he talks about it, so I recommend going and watch it. It's really,
Yeah.
if you like Val, if you even just like, I mean, Tombstone, you know, go watch
Mhm.
that. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. I'll definitely check
Tombstone
that out.
is
That's cool.
Tombstone. I
Yeah.
don't really like westerns, and Tombstone is amazing. Like it is
Yeah, that
really
was
good.
Well,
yeah, that's a good one. That's not on this list though. Okay,
Yeah.
going back to the bad movies that we like.
All right. So the next one on my list, and you guys might agree with it. You guys might not. I definitely don't agree with it. Is 13th Warrior.
Oh, Antonio.
That's a good one. I didn't know that was a stinker.
So critics rated it a stinker. A lot of fans love it, but it's one of those where
Yeah,
the
it's
critics really
pretty
went
low.
into it.
33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I really enjoy it. And I still
I
enjoy
remember.
it to this day.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the caveat of this, right? You can still watch it. I tried recently, and I did not finish it. Maybe not so much because I wasn't enjoying it. I think it's just having
Mm-hmm.
movies all the time. But
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't quite as good as I remember it the first time. But
I
thought
remember
it was
watching
fun.
it. I remember watching
Yeah, I
it
remember.
again.
I enjoyed it.
I remember watching it again, and I remember having the same kind of disappointment as I did the first time. And this is gonna be spoilers, but please, people, if you haven't watched this, man,
It's over 20 years old. Yeah.
Is when they're talking about the fireworm, and it turns out to just be the crazy people with a bunch of torches. I really wanted there to be like a dragon. Like, I was so ready for it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
ruined the movie, by the way. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
these don't even bother. No.
Actually, I reckon. Yeah, you should.
No,
if you
I would
haven't seen
recommend
that
it
one.
as well. It's good. It's a
Yeah,
good one
it's a
if you
good
like
one.
a good
Thriller.
dramatic historical fantasy.
Yeah. Prime
Uh,
Antonio as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely Prime Antonio. Yeah. I kind of wanted. I was just bring this up because it does have a low Metascore as well, and it's a movie I seem to have had a lot of time getting. I could never get anybody to watch it for very long. And Kyle remembers this one because he actually bought this movie for me on accident. Everything is Illuminated.
Yeah,
With
on
Elijah
accident.
Wood. Yeah, he rented it, and then I borrowed it, and I think you had to end up paying the late fees or purchasing
So
it.
yeah, luckily you just buy it. They had started that where you just pay the remainder. So I think it was like
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah. I remember watching it, like I had it on like every night for a long time too. I would just always have it on.
Dude,
I don't know why. I was addicted
I don't
to
know
this
why
film.
either. Because I couldn't even make it through.
I don't even remember it, and I'm sure you probably tried to make me watch it.
Yeah, probably because I remember falling in love with this movie. It's Elijah Wood. I think it was either right after his Lord of the Rings stuff or right before. I don't know. All I know is that
it might have been in the
middle.
Yeah,
It might have been one of the ones in the middle. But I remember just loving this movie. It's a very slow-paced mystery comedy, and he has like this Ukrainian hip hop artist who's his guide through Ukraine as he's trying to search for his grandfather's cabin.
What? This sounds familiar. This does sound familiar.
He's trying to find the woman who saved his grandfather, which is why his grandfather moved to America during the World War II. And it's a really interesting story, and I just thought it was a really fun, lighthearted but with some soft moments. And I don't, it just hit me in all the right places when I was going through it. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely a hard one to for people to get into, but it seems like it does seem to be critically, not critically, it does seem to be a cult movie now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
more than anything.
Is that what got you into Gogol Bordello? Because that's the guy.
Yes, that is what got me into Google. Because I remember right after, because I've never really gotten into them heavily, but I wanted to get into
Yeah.
them because of this movie. Because they have some songs, but it's hard to just like love their discography for some reason for me.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sure
you're
there's
right.
fans, but it's not me. No, I can't do it. I do like
Yeah.
some of it though. It's good stuff. But yes, so
Which,
that's exactly what happened.
if you're listening to this and you're like, "What did he just say?" It is a God, there's
A gypsy
punk
punk is what they call
band,
themselves. Yeah.
Just type in
GOGOL, and then it probably will pop up right away. Gogol Bordello, and just listening to Start Wearing Purple, and you'll have a fun time.
Yeah, it's a fun band. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even realize he was in that movie.
Yeah, I didn't either. I know that I remember getting into that band a little bit because of that movie, but I didn't know that was actually him in the movie. I just knew he was a funny character. He was a funny side character that was also like interesting. But anyways, yeah, that's my only two I have. So if you guys have more, you can go for it.
No,
I
I only
have-
have the two. So
I have one last one.
oh, look at
All right,
Kyle.
what do you
Gotta
got,
show
bud?
us up.
Well, of course. It was my question. Honorable mention. I don't want to talk about it, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That's not my last pick. I probably can't watch that one again though, so that's why it's not on the list. I don't think I can make it through. Here, I would love this movie though, and it was
one of, if not the last one.
one that Sean Connery did, and it's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a
And
good
that
one.
one.
That is a good
And-
one.
That one is horribly rated,
Really?
Mhm.
almost as bad as Batman and Robin. Yeah, people hate
Yeah,
that
people
movie.
hated it.
Why?
Yeah.
Critics. I don't know. I never cared because I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah, I always thought it was good. I haven't seen it recently though, so maybe it aged
It's-
poorly. I don't know.
It's probably not true to the
That's
original
the-
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie that Sean Connery did instead of doing Lord of the Rings. If I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah,
That's the one he
yeah.
turned down Lord of the Rings for to do.
But-
And then I think he retired right after that too.
I think
Yeah,
yeah,
he
I think
did.
he was
He did.
that. But I think they could have made the. But if you think about
Yeah.
it, right before Lord of the Rings blows up, you don't know that.
Mhm. Yeah, you don't
You
know.
look-
Yeah,
Yeah.
You look at either or, and you're like, either one, because
They're both kind of fun.
and they both have years and decades of history, and obviously he chose poorly as far
Well,
as far as
well,
franchises.
yeah, of course.
I also don't remember who the director of Extraordinary Gentlemen was, but
Let me
I can
see.
say for a fact that Peter Jackson at the time was like a who? Like you
Yeah.
want me to
Yeah,
work
he
with
was
who?
still fairly unknown. I think
Yeah.
the one he did before that was a horror movie that most people haven't seen.
Yeah,
I've
see,
heard
I
of
don't,
it, but I've never watched it.
I don't know of Peter Jackson outside of Lord of the Rings and then that freaking Kong movie that was
Oh, yeah,
so
King Kong.
long.
What I fell
Yeah.
asleep. That was
Yeah.
the first time
I
I fell
remember.
asleep in a movie.
We got excited to see it, and
Yeah.
there was an intermission. I was so confused. I was like, "What?"
I know it's true. It was like, is it over? No. I think there's more. How is there more? Wasn't that the one where people started throwing popcorn at the screen?
I have no idea. I just know I remember. I think I saw it with Kyle and his family when we were younger, and I just remember that one being really. Whew.
I felt guilty for falling asleep because I think
Yeah.
you took us, you treated us.
Yeah, I think
to
my
it.
grandma took us all to it, and it
Oh
was
man.
very good.
I was trying. One,
And that's
one-
why I didn't see Kong Skull Island too. It took me forever
Yeah.
to see that movie because of that.
I
Yep.
think it was the same for me.
I'm upset because I finally saw it and it's actually really good. But
Yeah.
yeah, compared.
You want to
It was-
know something funny about all our movie picks?
Mhm.
What's up?
Well, other than Monster Hunter that I picked, I think all of them are around in this gap between like 97 to
Yeah.
about 2003,
Yeah.
2004 is like that was our time for movies. They really got to us.
That's the
I didn't-
audience they want. Not too picky.
So I don't know. Go check out these movies. 13th Warrior you should watch. I don't know about the other ones, but
Check them all out, or just post somewhere, send
Post
to
your
us. Let
own.
us know what you think. What do you,
That's a-
which
yeah.
one is the movie you remember that maybe other people didn't like as much?
yeah, good idea.
But anyways, all right, that was a wonderful topic. Good job, Kyle. But let's move on to video games. There was some sort of scandal. I know Kyle posted about it in our Discord. About some scandal with grading. I didn't know about this, but it sounded feasible. So what do you got, Kyle? What is this all about?
So I forgot the name of the guy who posted the video, but I'll give you my perspective. And as someone that collects video games, and I'm almost at 1,200 games now, which is not really what I was gunning for. I know it's a lot.
No, hold on. When I say Jesus, number one, you should be proud of the fact that you've collected. So no, I'm not joking around, dude. Because like, if you enjoy collecting something, collect it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I say Jesus is in. I'm impressed. All right.
Yes, and he is our Lord and Savior. And so, anyways, I collect them. I very much, my opinion is that you play the games. I get maybe not opening a game, because it has like the collector's edition. You buy it, you like to look at it. But this whole idea of grading stuff, even grading comics, to me, I think it's too far. And it's like, who's grading these things? Why are we grading them? Who's this for? And ultimately, I don't even think my kids are going to want this stuff, regardless of what condition it is. I remember I got a graded comic once because it was in a bundle at a convention. I didn't seek it out, and I was kind of upset because it was part of the Civil War, Marvel, and I was like, I don't get to read this one because it's locked in a case and it's graded. So, anyways, the scandal is, and that's I say that my opinion because I never liked grading to begin with, but there's this company that just started a year, maybe 2 years ago. They started grading video games, right? So they're very new. It's very new, and what turns out that some guy did a lot of research, and it finds out that company that does the grading is working with the company that does the auctions to auction off the graded games. And because one of the games there's a Mario game that sold for 150,000, and surprise, one of the guys that bought that game is also the owner of the auction company. So they're manipulating the market to boost up prices.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
those headlines.
Yeah, and I don't think it's talked about as much. A lot of people in the grading, or not grading, but just collectors community, we kind of could sense that something was up, but then finally someone did the research and investigation and found out, these guys are in bed together, and they're boosting up the prices for these things. It's
totally feasible. I've watched a lot of Pokemon card stuff, and I mean that's what's going on with the Pokemon cards as well. I'm not sure if it's the same same interweaving as this one is, but like Pokemon cards have a big problem right now because people would go in and purchase like basically all the stock of Pokemon cards at stores, and then open them all with unboxing videos, and then turn around and sell all the really large cards. And it started becoming a problem for the simple fact that anybody who wanted to play the game is now stuck competing, trying to purchase essentially these paper cards that in essence have real no value besides what people decide they are. And there's people that just want to play the game, and that's what that's really for. But yet these collectors are like doing these. It's nuts. And so it totally makes sense that probably is what sparked this now, and now they're manipulating the market with the video games. And so it all kind of is interlocked. I want to say they started with either comics or toys. Maybe there's something else. I don't know the history of it, but I know comics were a big thing for a long time. Coins as well as so it makes sense, but it's still slimy. It sucks.
So for a coin too, that's dated centuries ago, that maybe that makes sense. I still think it's weird to grade things. But
Yeah.
with video games, it's like this is not that. They're still relatively not that old, right? And,
No, yeah, of course.
And I agree with you. I think like that level of greed, like you're saying with the flipping of things, has went to the top, and like we're going to make millions off this.
Yeah.
And if you watch the video I posted in this, the guy that owns the grading company was on Pawn Stars to talk about the game. They tried to sell the game to Pawn Stars.
Oh, that's what that video came from? No way. That's also connected?
Yeah, that's the same guy that owns the grading company.
Because I've seen that video. Yeah, with where he tries to give it to or sell it to them for like $1 million. And they're like, no, it's not worth that. And I don't know if they actually bought it because I've never actually seen the end of that video. I've only seen the clips.
I know. I don't know. I doubt they bought it for that price.
Yeah.
Thank God those guys are shysters for sure. They're not going to pay full price. But I love those guys, the Pawn Stars, but they will not get they will not give you full price. But yeah,
they gotta sell it.
Yeah, it's the point of a pawn place.
I mean, just this is the scandal, right? So let me try to put it in perspective. I'm telling you, Alan, that I have an Arizona green tea. This is a one of a kind Arizona green tea I'm drinking.
All right.
I'm telling you, no one else has this one, right? And so you go like, all right, I'll buy it off you for $20, and then you go to try to take it to the pawn store, and then they bring me into the pawn store and go, oh, that green tea is worth like $500.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then that's what's happening here.
It just keeps escalating. Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
Like,
I get it.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's because I get the feeling that there's almost no one to actually judge these things. Like,
right.
I know,
who's doing it?
Yeah, I know that like for coins and stuff, there are people who look at what the coin's made out of, the condition it's in. Like there are people hired to appraise stuff. Like, I don't know of any.
Well, they have that
games.
They have that same stuff for like comics and Pokemon cards and things like that. It's just it's just what's happening here is they do have that system, quote unquote. The only issue is the system itself is manipulating the market.
Well,
so it's like somebody decided to create the system, but now they're using the system and then finding a way around it to make the inflate the prices.
Yeah.
So to be fair, it's called WATA company, the grading company. There is another video game grading company that's been around for about a decade. Right.
Okay. So there is another one that does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're a little bit more trusted, but then this WATA came out of nowhere, and they're like, and they just jacked the market up, and so it's specifically these couple of companies. But then it also, like you were saying, Alan, with Pokemon cards, it inflates the entire market, right? So people think they have these rare games, so they start jacking up the prices on them, and it's like getting harder to find older games.
Yep.
And I see it as a collector. I'm like, okay, that game was $20 a month ago. I'm not paying $50. It's just even little differences like that. It's like no. And so hopefully we can figure this out and get back down to where retro game hunting is fun again. Yeah, it's been a little difficult. So check out the video. Join our Discord.
Check out the video. It's an interesting end. Join our Discord. It's definitely intriguing. But let's move on. We can move on to a more modern game. I'm gonna go over this real quick. Marvel Future Flight. This is the 25th of August, and this game just launched today. So it is out. There's like a special event, quote unquote, that give you some, the more random little items like XP bonuses and equipment and things like that.
What system is this on?
This is for phones.
Oh, okay.
Mobile game. Yeah.
You had me scared for a moment there. I was like, "Geez."
Had you scared?
What?
No, this is a mobile game. It came out today, and I happened to have some downtime. So I got to play with it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and go through the tutorial or the opening sequence. And I actually felt it was really fun. It did drain my battery pretty heavily, but it seemed like a very intensive game to run. But It's essentially, it seems like almost like an MMO, almost MMO light. What I was saying in Discord, we talked about a little bit, and what I was saying in there was it reminded me a lot of Avengers, Marvel's Avengers for PS4 and Xbox. And in the fact that where it was an MMO light, except for this one, you actually have a hub where you can see other people, and the story itself was much more broad and open, where they were kind of explaining like all the multiverses are clashing together and things like that. So you can have two of the same character, and it makes sense. And it seemed way more open and broad, so it just added so many elements and things that were just kind of there. And the graphics in it, while they are, for phones, they actually are super colorful, and I really like the art style they went with. It's almost an in between of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and Marvel Avengers. Like it's like higher quality than 3, but then like more colorful and a little lower quality than Avengers. So it's like in the middle quality wise, but then the vibrance is really there. It's way more colorful. But it is a mobile game. Don't get me wrong. It does seem to have the typical mobile tropes with the little microtransactions and things like that, and trying to get you to spend money. But it was really fun. You choose one character, even though you have multiple characters, but you have like a character slot, kind of like an MMO. And so I chose Black Widow. So I was playing with Black Widow, who is a 5-star, which is like the higher difficulty to play, I guess. But I was like, I'm playing Black Widow, so I was playing that, and it was just a lot of fun. And they had voice acting, but it was not all the time. But they did have some voice acting, so you were doing that. So it's kind of like watching something as well. And the story itself is pretty interesting. So it's free, so maybe give it a shot and just see what you think. I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of what I wished Avengers was like. If Avengers had like everything this game had, but then this game had like the combat system Avengers had, that'd be great, because I think the combat system in Avengers is really fun. It's just that it's missing so much else. So
yeah.
And the story is really good in Avengers too, but I think the story is just a bit more broad and interesting and kind of encompassing everybody.
That's a good point that you brought up, though, about wishing that was like this one had this one, and they were. If you were to merge those two games together and make a baby, that would be a great game.
Amazing, yeah.
And we've even talked about Ultimate Alliance being like, oh, it's fun. It was cool. It wasn't the greatest. Wasn't even the best Ultimate Alliance, in my opinion. But,
no, probably not.
So, earlier I kind of be a Marvel fan. You have all these games, all these shows coming out. But from what you're saying, it almost sounds like they're spread too thin. It'd almost be worth it to like, man, can you just make one good game? It could even be on, it can have microtransactions. Just make a good one. If you just put all your resources together, all the companies, make one good one and let us play that.
This game also gives me some vibes from Marvel Heroes Omega that I think me and Tomas, but I don't know if you've ever played it, Kyle.
I've never
me and
heard
Tomas played it for a bit. Gives me a little bit of vibes of that as well. So, and that was another game that Disney killed because it had the X-Men in it before Disney got a hold of everybody else but the X-Men, and then Disney just got the X-Men not too long ago, but this was before that happened, so they closed that down, which was very unfortunate because the game was actually pretty fun. It was basically like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but much bigger, which was really cool because you just picked a character and you could like level them up and everything. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, so check it out. But that's pretty much what we have.
Let me ask you this though before we move on. Do you like playing on your phone, like the physical action?
So not usually. This game was pretty fun, and it seemed to be optimized well enough that it wasn't like my phone wasn't getting hot, which is always annoying to me when that happens.
Yeah.
But so this game didn't seem that. It seemed a little bit more optimized, so it wasn't doing that. Like it got a little warm, but nothing like that was uncomfortable. And I did buy the Razer. I think it's Razer Keshi, which is like a controller you could put around your phone. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool for games that support it. Unfortunately, this game does not support it. I mean, apparently it supports it a little bit, but not very much. So
That's
from what I've understood is they're planning on adding that support, and they said they're going to think about consoles, which I really hope they do consoles because that would actually turn this game around for me. But I don't think they will because I just don't see it going there. But who knows? I could be wrong. This could just take off. But yeah, not usually, but
yeah.
this game has been pretty fun, even with doing that. And the controls don't seem too floaty like they usually do with those type of games, using the touch screen because you have to use the touch screen like a joystick, and then you have the buttons, which is always kind of off-putting for me, even.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they add controller support so I can use my Keshi a little bit more. But yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's what I've
about
experienced
it.
too. It's just like I bought the little controller thing, and so I bought something that you could attach my phone, and it hooks onto an Xbox controller. So it's like a little.
Oh yeah, I know. I have one of those
And-
for my 8-bit Duo. Cool.
And
Some of the games
to support it, and it's like it seems like a waste.
Yeah. That's
Anyways.
always the problem, is finding games to support it, you know.
Yeah.
All
We'll pick
right,
it up
so
here.
we have another question in our video game topic. We want to talk about our favorite moments in gaming. So why don't we start off with Tomas, because we're about to lose him. So Tomas,
You might have to leave early. That's right.
what is
No, so I would say probably the most memorable one for me was when I was playing Fear up at PUC, the first Fear game. And
Oh.
it was late at night. I was in the dorm room with a buddy of mine, Ray, and I was climbing up a ladder. And you guys know that little girl that follows you around in the game, right? Yeah. So I was climbing up a ladder, and both me and Ray had the lights out in our room. We're just staring at just the TV. I'm climbing up this ladder, and all of a sudden, dude, the little girl just like comes like out of this kind of like vent or something, and just like scares the living. Like my character, I dropped the controller. Ray like did a somersault over the back of the couch and just like ran outside of the dorm into the hallway, just like nope, I'm done. So that's probably one of the most memorable moments for me.
Oh man, yeah. I never could get through that. I mean, the name alone, it kind of warns you. Like,
I did beat it, but
Nice.
yeah,
yeah,
you're beating it.
that's what I respect about you, though. You stick through games, especially if you're like so far. Beat it regardless of what's happening,
Yeah.
even if it's not like. I respect that about you because you get all the way through and you go, okay, that wasn't great. I'm never touching that game again, or whatever, you know. But you stick through it, maybe because you buy them outright.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be it.
I
So
buy a lot of
spend
cheap
full
games.
money.
Yeah,
Spend
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
money.
I do as well, and I there's so many games I've picked up and just went nah and moved
Yeah.
on.
Oh my gosh, it's bad for me.
But it's or even gotten into it and go, I love this game, and then got like 15 hours in. I'm like, all right, I'm moving on, or just forget about it. Oh yeah, I was playing that. Oops. But no, I've never played Fear, but that's cool. It's an interesting story. Kyle, you got a next? You want the next one?
I have a bunch, so I'll do like my honorable mentions just in a row, and then I'll do like one that was kind of traumatic. So the OG one is Wolfenstein, the old school Wolfenstein 3D. And when you fight Hitler, but Hitler is a robot, like a mech warrior, and that moment. So first of all, the game was really hard for me as a kid, and then my cousin came over and we played it, and he got me to that part where you actually fight Hitler. And then it gives you a little story, and it's like, and you spit in his corpse. And I was a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, you could do that? You could say that in video games? And so, killing Mech Warrior Hitler was a pretty good moment. The first time you see a Colossus on Shadow of Colossus, I don't know if you guys played that one.
I haven't played that one. I wanted
It's
to, but I
been-
haven't.
Yeah, I was downloaded on my PS4 for years and I never played it. But anyway,
What? Neither.
'cause
Okay.
they gave it away for free, and it was one of those games I was just like, I kinda
So
love this game. I gotta try it, and I just never did.
yeah, that one. It is. it's definitely like the artistic kind of video game, right? It's not your typical. The controls aren't great, but they do, function. And like I said, that first time you see a Colossus, and every time you see one, it's just like whoa. I don't know if it still holds up. Maybe the remake they did does, but yeah, that one for me is
I think it's
very
a
memorable.
remaster because I think it's
Yeah.
like the same game, just like prettier.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
Try that one because it probably clean up the controls a
Yeah,
little bit.
I
And
have
then
it on the PS5, so maybe I'll have to download it again.
definitely need to try that. And then, of course, the Ocarina of Time, when you take the sword out of the stone and you become an adult, it was like, what? Because there was no internet back then. So you didn't know that it was coming. And it was just, oh, man, still. So those are a few of my like just
amazing.
Do you
Yeah.
guys remember buying guidebooks?
oh yeah
Like I remember guidebooks, man. They were
loved
a
it.
necessity. They were
Yeah.
a necessity.
yeah oh yeah definitely every Zelda game I needed one.
Yeah.
I still now it's just on your phone, so
yeah,
you don't
like
have to
back
pay
in the
for
day
it. But
when Pokemon first came out, I had the first Pokemon guidebook. I wish I still had it. I don't even know where it is. I wish I still had it, man.
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, man, definitely. So those are like my starters.
I have my Ocarina of Time guidebook. I gave it to my son actually.
Oh, that's
yeah?
cool.
Yeah, it was.
bought-
It was.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I bought the hardcover version for my sisters of Twilight Princess because I was like,
nice.
y'all gonna
Yeah.
need this.
No, and remember you'd get to school and you'd have to ask your friends, like, hey, did you find the way to get to this place?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss that.
You don't
Yeah,
really need
I
that
do too.
anymore. Huh?
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not gonna ask you guys like a chump. I know what to do.
Like, I'll just look on my phone. I'll let random strangers tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Then all my friends will think I did it myself.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like when you search my platinums and you see
Yeah.
the games I've been playing,
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to
More like
hide.
just pop up on my screen. Wasn't even looking.
Uh-huh. There's
Anyways.
a $2 novel. You can hit fast forward and you get a platinums itself. Okay, that's the whole reason I did it.
I feel like there's a story here that we
Nope.
it's a simple story.
Nope.
We're not gonna go all right.
No, it's your
Ask
turn.
us on Discord. Ask us on
Yeah.
Discord, and maybe he'll tell you if you bug him
Maybe.
enough. Anyways, yeah, I thought about this and I actually thought you both were gonna say this one. It's probably my biggest, just like oh my moment while playing a game that I can remember was actually Arkham City. When you
Oh, yeah.
find out at the end
Yep.
that the Joker was Clayface the entire
That-
time,
That was gonna be my
that
next
was a good one.
choice.
threw me for a loop. I was like, and then if you play the game again, there's actually a lot of nods to it
Yeah.
that you probably didn't even
Oh,
notice
really?
because I didn't
Yeah.
notice it. Yeah,
There
I need to
are.
go.
this-
I gotta go play it
so-
again.
yeah. So it was just that one was my big one that I always think of when I think of games that just like surprise you with something because they did a really good job with it. And
I
hit it
feel like
really
that
well.
was
They
I feel
did.
like that was my first platinum. Was that game? It was Arkham City.
I don't know. how you-
Platinum that
I don't know how
game?
you platinum those. I don't know how you
Yeah.
platinum those games.
Platinum.
I do the free, not free, but the $2 visual novels that you can fast forward through. So
No, on the I guess the Xbox it wasn't called Platinum, was it, or was it?
right, no,
That's
no.
trophies. No,
Yeah.
Achievements.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I had all the achievements for Arkham
You
City
get
on the
you get
Xbox.
100%.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that on the
Which-
Xbox.
still
And then I
very
never-
impressive.
And then I never did it again on the PlayStation. I got really close when they relaunched it on PlayStation.
Mhm.
I think I got like some like I'm done. And I'm like
Yeah.
I'm so close to figuring out all the riddles and I still should
I mean,
just pick it up
if
and finish it.
You got it once. I feel like you should have fun playing because
Screw
at that
Riddler.
point it's work. It's just
It's not
work
worth
at
it.
that point.
Yeah, I couldn't do any of the Arkham games just because they required you to do the combat challenges or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing those. Those are
No,
stupid. So
I
I
don't
never
have-
did it.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah,
You're right.
I loved the combat challenges, man. I would grind through those. I loved those.
It is some of the best like combat
Just getting that parry down right. That parry.
controls. Yeah, the controls are so good.
Yeah. Anyways, do you want to go over any more, Kyle, or you will?
Yeah, I got a couple more. I could do one more.
All right, go ahead. Do one more.
I'll do.
One that I'll just mention it because it is recent, so I don't want to spoil it. But Detroit Become Human.
Okay. I keep meaning to play that. I have it downloaded.
Oh yeah, they gave that one out.
Play it.
If you like those games, the Quantic
Yeah.
Dream, yeah, it totally.
I do.
It was such a,
For me, that
you know, you get invested in those characters in those games that, like, do I even care anymore? What does this all mean? So, anyways, play Detroit. But my other choice would be Braid, which I originally played on Xbox 360. In Braid, you play as a hero that,
Mhm.
and it was. Have you played this one, Alan?
No,
Okay.
I may have touched upon it, but I don't think I ever got very far.
Yeah, and so you start playing it, and it's the typical trope. You got to go save the princess or his girlfriend or whatever. And there's a time manipulation mechanic that they do really well in that game. So good. And do you want me to spoil it? Because it's a pretty big spoiler.
I
You
may
not-
not even remember it, so it's fine.
But it's been out long enough.
Yeah.
So the spoiler at the end, which definitely threw me for a loop, was at the end of the game, you're trying to save the princess, and then you do the time manipulation thing where you go in reverse, and it turns out that the princess was running away from you the whole time, and you're actually the villain.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool little
And
twist.
yeah, and he's a nice looking guy with a shirt and tie. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
think, but it's a very it's talking about relationships of just like chasing someone down that doesn't want
Oh,
to be with you
be
anymore.
with you. Yeah. Okay, I get it. That's cool.
And yeah,
Uh,
and I was going through some relationship stuff in my life. I was like, stupid game. This is a stupid game. Why you make me think like that? I just wanted to have fun. And but it was great actually. Really, it was
That's
a really good
awesome.
twist. So yeah, definitely. If you haven't played it, I mean, it's still worth playing, even if you just found out the ending. It just, man, that one was a big one for me.
Well, I got some more twists, but let's save that for a different cast, and let's move on. Hopefully, Tomas will join us, get back here with his presence again soon. But until then, we'll talk about a game that he probably doesn't really, probably would never play anyways. With our Indie of the Week. This is a big one. Yeah, why don't you announce it? I think I already said it a minute ago, but go.
We'll see if it makes the cut. I don't know. In all the editing, it might not. You might not have said it earlier. But it's called Yooka-Laylee, and I've been playing it on the Switch. I think it's on other platforms.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you think Tomas wouldn't play it.
I don't see him playing it. I could be wrong, but I don't think he ever played those the Banjo-Kazooie games or anything like that. So I don't know.
I guess we'll never know. Yeah.
We'll never know, and we'll just
he's-
assume that he hates Banjo-Kazooie with a passion, and we'll leave it at that.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's his forte. You're right. Thinking about all his games lineups, but it's a Banjo-Kazooie like game. Honestly, it's down to, other than the characters, it's very much Banjo-Kazooie in better graphics and almost just as frustrating controls. The camera is a little bit better. That was really bad in Banjo-Kazooie, but
honestly, if you don't like Banjo-Kazooie,
or if you're not a big 3D platformer fan, I don't know if you'd like it, to be honest, because it does have its problems. Like lag is one of them, which actually has cost me a bit, and I even restarted the game and everything, and there's lag in the game. Might be maybe on the Switch, that's its problem. But if you love Banjo-Kazooie, this game will, scratch that itch for sure.
Yeah, that was one I had a hard time picking between the PS5, 4, and the Switch, because I heard there was some that the Switch was the definitive version, but then they went back and fixed it on the PS4. So now the the PS4 and Xbox, the definitive versions, because they like have the higher graphics, but also have the fix. So it's one I keep meaning to grab, just for fun, because I loved those types of games back in the N64. Well, I think we need to try to get Tomas back in here, so we probably need to start a new one.
Let me just say this about Yooka-Laylee.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Buy the cheapest one, whatever the cheapest.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was planning. You said you got on the Switch and you said get the cheapest as possible. Yooka-Laylee, Tomas, do you have any opinions now that you're back?
I mean, I have tons of opinions, but none of them are worth saying right now. No, I think it sounds like it might be fun, but I don't know that I'd ever play it.
Okay, you were right, Alan.
Yep, that was right.
Fair enough.
Okay, I guess maybe confirm or deny this. Have you played Banjo-Kazooie? Did you actually play Banjo-Kazooie? Or
Me?
did you go down the... Yes.
Yeah.
No, I never played Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay. Here's the deal, though. The sequel to Yooka-Laylee is more like Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I've heard. And I've heard it's actually really good, too. I've heard it's really good. If you like the Tropical Freeze, you'll probably like it. I don't know if you played Tropical Freeze.
I don't know if I played that one.
It's amazing if you love the old Donkey Kongs. It's like the definitive Donkey Kong game. It's like the best one.
That might be a game you should get on your Switch there, Tomas.
Yeah, that sounds like
either one of those.
Sounds like one I should maybe look into.
It's really fun.
It goes on sale from time to time.
Get it. But enough about that nonsense. We all know what people really like. People like mobile games, right, Kyle? People love mobile games. So
that's right.
Why don't you tell them about that mobile game you love?
All right, now it's time for Soapbox. I'm on track again. I'm ready. I'm not thrown off anymore. All right, you've heard me talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Those of us who play it, we call it SWOGO. It's annoying.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's the abbreviation SWGOH. I get it.
Because can you imagine typing out Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes every time you want to tell someone?
I used to play Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it was SWTOR, so I understand the nonsense, but it just SWOGO sounds great.
Life when I type in SWOGO, how to beat Darth Revan. Okay, actually,
much quicker. Yeah,
it's not Darth Revan anymore. It's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Is the new. Yeah, he's the top dot. Well, kind of now. Anyways, here's my problem. I'm ranting. It's been probably 5 years now. I don't even want to know how long I've been playing this game. As I mentioned, and I told you, Alan, I've put in well over $200 into this game. Not really happy to admit that. But you know, I've been playing a game for 5+ years every day. That seems normal. So, however, even with all that money, I'm behind. I'm way behind because people drop thousands and thousands of dollars into this game, and it seems like they're catering to those people. It's like that whole argument of like they're catering to the 1%. Versus the 99% other of people that play the game. And it's like, man, they threw us a few bones there. And it was like a teaser where, I think I told Alan, I don't know if this was in general chat. This might have been on our other Discord, on our chat, but they made Darth Vader good because he sucked at first. So they made him good. And I was like, cool. Like, that's a easy to get character. Thank you. And then they came out with these Galactic Legends characters that take it. I got one of them. I got the character, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Rise of Skywalker. Gucci Palpatine, right there. And anyways, it took me a good 6 months to unlock that character of like steadily everyday grinding. So I got him right. So that's how long it takes to get these characters out. Well, somebody figured out that you can beat those guys with Darth Vader if you certain combos, right? It's like, you know what? To me, it's like bravo, right? You figured it out. You beat the system. Well, Capital Games and EA said, no. We're going to be after they made him better. And it's like, you made him better. You didn't have to make him that good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that was our mistake. And we want you to pay big bucks so you can unlock Lord Vader, which is Anakin before he gets robot sized as Darth Vader.
Okay.
So that's the new character coming out, right? And it's just getting harder and harder to get these characters. More and more money needs to be spent, and they're making the other characters that you can get weaker. And I, when is enough? How much punishment do I take? Because it's that sunken time fallacy, right? I've put so much time into it. I don't want to give it up now, but
Yeah.
I'm on the verge of, and I don't. Maybe this is the time with that new Marvel game, Alan, to switch over. But maybe I just need to stop with the mobile games. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I can't. I haven't found one I've been able to stick on, but yeah, they always taunt me. Like I don't usually spend money. I think I've spent like $5 here and there.
Right, like
and
a
then
normal person.
Immediately regretted it too. Every time I do it, I'm just like, and then I get the reward. I'm like, oh, it's a box, and it could be something good. It's never as good as I was hoping, and I just go, and that's. Now, do I continue with this game or am I leaving? Because I'm feeling like I'm leaving. Because I just feel like I just got swindled.
They had a bundle in the Star Wars game to get new players in, and it was even good for like veteran players. And I bought that. That was $100 pack, and that one was the only time I ever felt like, oh, I got my money's worth, because it was a lot.
Yeah.
But I think they regret it, and they're like, ooh, we should have given you guys all that stuff for $100. Like, please. Anyways, you're 100% correct, Alan. Don't give them money. Stop giving them money.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I hope Swago turns around for the better. Swogo. Sorry.
There's no way. I call it what you will.
Well, Tomas last time talked about I think Night Before Christmas or something. I don't remember.
That's right.
And so I
Zach
think he
Skellington.
was something about that. Yeah. So he loved it so much that he wanted to talk about it again. So Tomas, what about Oogie Boogie makes it so great?
I love it.
So unlike my hosts would make you believe, it was not Nightmare Before Christmas. It was Batman: The Long Halloween, parts 1.
He was close.
And 2.
He was close.
It's a great show. Great movie. Great movies, actually, because it's two-parter.
Okay.
It is one of the things that I love about it, and when watching it, I kind of remembered a bit more about the graphic novel when I read it back in the day. Like, don't go into this expecting to see Batman, beating in heads and kicking butt and taking names. You're very much seeing Batman learning to become the detective that he's supposed to be. In fact, a lot of the criminals mock him in the first movie about how he's such a terrible detective and stuff like that. And Gordon coaches him on interrogation in the first movie. Like that's not how you interrogate someone.
Nice.
So it definitely goes away from the typical action Batman where he just knows everything and he can swoop in and kick everyone's butt, and then he, that kind of stuff. It's much more about trying to figure out who done it and who's who and things like that. It does also a really good job, because one of the things that made this graphic novel famous was the artist. I want to say it's Loeb something. Alan found it for me last time. Do it again, Alan.
I'm not looking it up this time. No, it'll be forever unknown.
But anyways, he's really known for his really iconic depictions of characters. He has a very unique style to the Joker, to Catwoman, to even Two-Face. So Tim Sal was the artist. The writer was Jeff Loeb. But yeah, he has some really unique ways of drawing the characters.
My soapbox real quick, and I think we're gonna go out after that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about a game that I got for very cheap recently that I think a lot of us have been avoiding like the plague after as we're used to. I think we're all used to these terrible launches of games that end up coming out and then completely falling apart until they're repaired and brought back to life a year later. And we have another game here called Fallout 76. Now, I'm not a huge Fallout fan, but my brother got this game and I knew Kyle got this game. So I got it. And I also had another friend of mine that had been trying to get me to play this game for a while.
Oh, nice.
And so I finally picked it up. I got the itch. I stopped playing Final Fantasy 14. And so I just had more time and my rating ended and things like that. So more time came up. So I was able to get into something a little bit more taxing. And so I started getting into Fallout 76. I haven't put a whole lot of time in it, but I probably put about maybe 15 hours or so at least. So I guess I can speak about it. Let's just say for starters, when this game came out, there was no story. And this is a Bethesda title. If you didn't know that, there was no story in the game. You just entered the world and you just survived and explored, which makes sense. A lot of games, I mean, Bethesda games for exploration are usually very dense and full of stuff. So I understand what they're going for, but it wasn't until the Wastelanders expansion, which they added tons of quests. So it's like a full Fallout game now. But what makes it different is it's a full Fallout game that you can play with other people. So you can do quests together and things like that and work together, and you can build these bases that are actually really cool. I built like a cabin, and then my friend he's played like 1,500 hours or something into the game. He loves the game, but he showed up and just gave me a fat generator and just hooked it up to my house. It's like, here, now you have electricity, and he was just helping me out.
Nice,
and so,
that's cool.
Yeah, and so I was just because I kept having this problem, which was actually it made me laugh every time it happened because I made this cabin, and I logged in, and I was getting really excited, and I finally built a light bulb, and I put it up, and I tried to turn it on. There was no electricity. I was like, oh, what do I need for electricity? So I started looking around, and then I found out I could make a generator, but I needed copper. And so I was like, crap. And so I had to go find copper. And then I found copper and I built a generator and I put it on the back of my house. And I was really excited. And I logged in next and I turned on my light and it was on and I had electricity and I was so happy. And then I logged in next time and I was like doing some stuff. And then I heard outside my house some noises. And I'm like, what's going on out there? And as I was walking out, there were some freaking scorchers beating on my generator and they broke it. And I was like, you jerks.
So, are those other people?
No, they're just like zombies. They're just like
Okay.
random things that came by. And so I didn't have any copper again. I had to go get more copper. And so I found more copper finally, which copper is kind of a pain to find. And so I went back there and I was like, all right, now I'm going to fix my generator, you jerks. And then I went and fixed it. And then I was doing some stuff. And then I came back way later. And all of a sudden I heard a bunch of things. And then I heard an explosion. I was like, oh, you son of a biscuit. And then I walked outside and there's some dang moles and they broke my generator. I was like, you dang moles. And I shot them all. And I was all upset. And then my friend showed up and built me a fat generator with a brick wall around it. And I'm like, oh, good. Now I have electricity that is not going to be destroyed every so often. I may have not built my cabin in the most the best place, but there is no defenses. It's just a cabin. But
Nice.
there seems to be a spawn point near me for scorchers, radioactive moles, and super mutants. So it's just a random shot. Which one's it gonna be? I've walked outside of my house and all of a sudden super mutants and raiders are just fighting. I'm like, oh boy.
Typical Tuesday.
This is my morning. This is my morning.
a good one.
But it's really fun. I'm having a great time with it. And so I highly advise everybody to pick it up, and it's on sale I think right now for $13. I don't know how long that sale lasts digitally, but you don't need the sale because I found
No.
it. I found it for $10. It came
Yeah.
with pins. It came with the steel book, and I found another copy for $8 with a steel book. So it's like
I think
really
that's the
easy to
deal
get.
I got, the steelbook one.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's you can get it cheap and it's worth it. There's tons of content. I haven't even scratched the surface with all the stuff I've done. And I haven't even done that much stuff. But there's so much story, there's so much content, and it's really fun. That's one of my biggest gripes with both Fallout and Skyrim is I always get really into them, but then I feel so lonely because I'm like, but I can't play with anybody. I'm just like by myself all the time. And so that's why this game is like really kicking that up. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I'm hoping to get some more people on it.
I have to apologize
cool.
to you. I haven't even put the game in because my wife and I are still playing It Takes Two.
I need to get back to that because me and my wife were playing it and then we just kind of stopped. So we need to get back to doing that one because there's actually a PS5 update for it too. So
Nice.
I was meaning to like we were playing and I was like, all right, I'm getting a PS5, so we're gonna wait a little bit, and then I'm gonna get the PS5 and then we'll play on that instead. But that didn't happen, so we just haven't gone back to it yet.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I can't wait to go back. But unfortunately, we are not going to get to our games tonight, and I really wanted to, but maybe I'm sure we've already written our games, so hopefully we can squeeze them in another time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We also want to get our Suicide Squad spoiler cast in at some point, so maybe me and Tomas can find a day where we can just do a small one real quick.
Why don't you guys plan on that?
Yeah,
because
maybe.
I probably won't be here next week.
Okay, I don't know why you don't have any excuse, Kyle, and I'm tired of your inexcusable absences. No, I understand you got lots to do, and maybe we should do that. So we'll plan that out and get a small cast out with just a Suicide Squad spoiler where we can discuss all that nonsense and all the blood and gore and stuff.
I'd love to hear it. while I'm cradling a baby.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make sure it's PG for you, unlike the movie, which is very rated R.
I have headphones. It's okay.
Anyways, all right. Well, we'll have to see you all next week. So thanks for listening and hope it was much clearer than last time. So see you later.
Sorry, everyone. Bye.